I mean, bonds are definitely telling you that they're nervous with the 10-year Treasury being at 2%. However, I think that's actually a good thing for stocks because with a lot of stocks giving a dividend of, let's say, 4%, you're rewarded by sitting in the stock market than the 10-year Treasury. And therefore, I think right now, particularly with this sell-off, the market's a buy.
It makes stocks look relatively more attractive is basically what you're saying. But,
correct.
But what do those falling bond yields tell you about the health of the economy? And if the economy is slowing, that's not good news for stocks.
Well, I don't think the economy slowing is that bad for stocks, right? I think what would be really bad for stocks is if the economy went into a recession and we actually saw negative growth, right? A slow economy, GDP growth between 2 and 4%, usually stocks do pretty well. What I think is a positive of the 10-year being so low, which there aren't many positives, but it's almost like giving another boost to businesses, right? People who are going to buy more homes because mortgage rates
is lower.
Are lower. So I think that, in effect, is positive and ultimately will help the stock market.
When you put this all in with some of the other signs that investors may point to that are concerning, the potential looming tariffs on both Chinese imports, as well as Mexican, you've got copper at 2-year lows. I mean, you've got sort of an amalgam. PMIs around the world have been contracting over the past couple of months. When you put it all together, it does seem to point to a worrying backdrop for stocks overall. So I get your point, but how do you sort of walk through stocks looking attractive because of low bond yields, but bond yields telling you something that may even be more ominous for stocks?
Yeah, I mean, we've been here before, right? 2015, and then again at the lows of 2018. So this isn't a new story. So I would say, particularly if you're a long-term investor, you need to be taking advantage. And there's a lot of buying opportunity out there. And for example, today, yes, tech selling off, value's doing okay, but actually foreign markets are up. So I think there are a lot of opportunities out there that aren't just in the U.S.
Yeah, I like your point that more than 2/3 of people shopping at Ulta own more than 2 curling irons. You know, there's always as Jim Cramer said, there's always a bull market somewhere, and you will find us one. So where do you find specifically a bull market in the stock market right now?
Yeah, I love the beauty sector. And beauty tends to actually do well even in a recession. So if you're kind of looking for a recession-proof industry, beauty's it. And also particular with Ulta, it's been interesting how they've captured not only the millennial market, which we talk about the millennials ad nauseum, right? I'm tired of talking about the millennials, maybe because I'm a millennial myself, but it's really the Gen Z, right? The Gen Z market is a massive market. I think their purchasing power is like 44 billion, and they're pretty young, right? And they're only going to get more and more purchasing power. And I think Ulta is just ripe to take advantage of that.
It's sort of a known story, though. It's been one of the best performers since '09. So on a day like today, when you're looking at tech and saying, okay, those were some of the secular growth stories in the market, can we still count on them or not? Would you look there as well?
I think so. I think there's better opportunity. And talking about tech, like I always like to encourage my investors because, again, right, I'm investing for the long term to take advantage of a sell-off like this. However, instead of just picking names, maybe pick the broader index. Like, for example, the Vanguard Growth. So not only do you get the tech companies, but you also get like Visa and MasterCard. And they've had explosive growth year to date. So you can take advantage of, okay, maybe they're having a little bit of a poor month, but you can capitalize on the future growth. So I think there's a lot of opportunities that people aren't noticing.